Okay, let's go over the grid really quick. We call it the grid. You can call it a database. This is each one of those items is a table. Okay, um, so you will see that again, like very similar to Glide, you have all the columns here that you can add. Let's see what is different than usual. Well, you have the connection. Some people call it relationships, lookups, functions, math, and templates. These are the advanced columns. And single cell. Single cell just calls a single cell from somewhere else. Templates is basically you can add any kind of templates here. You just set the variables. You always have to use double brackets for this, and then map it out to the columns. Okay. Math is where you basically set up some kind of a math calculation. So let's say x times y, and then you have to map out what is x, what is y. Okay, and then you can also set up the formatting. Moving on quickly to functions. Functions is very cool and very needed features when you do calculations. So you have a lot of functions that you're probably familiar from Google Sheets or Excel. Things like round, things like the one I use the most is like sum if you want to do some summary of some or summation of some sort. This is how you do it with condition. This is without condition. You have if and ifs, if and ifs. Okay, the same concept. These are all logical things, and you also have here by categories. So if you want to see all the logical functions, you can just, let me just turn this off. Logical, you can see all the logical items. You can also favorite things. You know what? I think it's not finished yet. All kinds of things related to text. Let's see. Counting things, count blank, count ifs, and so on. So you will have a description for every one of those functions here on top, plus the syntax. But you don't care about the syntax because you can do it all without any syntax. Now this is important, vertical or horizontal. Vertical means the calculation is going to go and calculate the whole column, and horizontal is going to calculate to the side horizontally. Sometimes inside a cell. If it's an array, you can calculate it inside a cell, or if it's more than a few columns, it will calculate all the columns. So here's where you add the columns, like this. Or if you want, this is for horizontal. For vertical, you're probably going to do just one at a time. Not exactly the right data, but you get the point, I think. What else? Connection and lookups. If you worked anything with Glide, you know what it is. Connection is like relationships, and lookups is like the lookup that Glide has. If you don't know what it is, let me know. I will make a video. Okay, I think the other ones are pretty self-explanatory. There's one thing that you might need is the image. There's two modes in the image. One is the regular image, and that one that is a thumbnail of a YouTube video. So if you have you will need a URL for the YouTube video, and then you select it here, and then it will, instead of just a regular email, it will show you the thumbnail of that video. Very useful if you create a list of videos. Okay, I think it's enough for this video. I will continue with the grid on the next video. Thank you.